Hello, it's time for another chat. This is the autumn season. The leaves are changing, it's getting colder. Stay tuned, we'll talk about what's happening and catch you up. Hello, welcome back to Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. I'm your host, Jerry Hansen. This is my seasonal porch swing chat, just to catch you guys up on what's going on and just speaking what's on my mind. A lot of things have happened this year. I've accomplished a lot, but didn't quite accomplish as much as I wanted to. I had a list of things I wanted to get done, and boy, did I bite off too much that I could chew. Somebody told me the other day at work, you know how to make God laugh? Make plans. I made plans. God is probably rolling on the floor laughing right now because things happened I did not expect. I didn't even get half my list done of what I set out to do this year. Yeah, because I made plans. A couple of major factors. I got sick. I had to take some time down, and you guys didn't notice, but I was. I recovered. I'm okay. Things are good. Started this diet plan. I actually did it was one of my New Year's resolutions that was private and personal to lose weight because I felt I was really unhealthy. I felt miserable. Now I feel good. Thank you guys for the compliments. It's really encouraging. I have a little setback right now. I'm working through it. It's a little health issue, but I'll work through it. You know, it's nothing major, but it's fixable. Put it that way. It's fixable. It just put a little bit of hitch at my giddy up. That's what it did. Oh boy. Yeah, and then this. Yeah, I took up property management for the ranch down the road. They had 3 rentals down there, and yeah, I got some characters on there that really threw a wrench into the gears there. So the gal who owned the ranch decided she's just going to go ahead and sell because of the COVID issues. You can't really evict people until Oregon increased the moratorium, so it's not until after January that you can evict. But they still have to pay the back rent. That they're still obligated to pay back rent, but we'll deal with that when time comes. Uh, but the place did sell. The new owners, it's closing right now. They'll take over here coming up shortly, and we got the scoundrels out. And unfortunately, there's a residual effect that affected a couple of other tenants that was sad. We had to issue evictions on them too. Well, they're not evictions; they're just notice to. Uh, it's just a notice to vacate premises. So it's not a eviction, and it doesn't go against your record. So it's all good. We're dealing with the housing for 2 of the parties. because there's a critical housing shortage in the area, because we had some mega wildfires this year. It was a very stressful year for wildfires, and it affected four communities. For Ashland, Oregon, it scorched some of Ashland. It decimated Talent, Oregon, and Phoenix, Oregon, and scorched the northern or the southern edges of Medford, Oregon. So I have a lot of friends who lost homes, friends and coworkers who lost homes down there. So many people were affected by this. Now with the critical housing shortage, it didn't help with having to issue these vacate residence orders to these people to have to go find another place to live. I was able to be creative and come up with alternative ways of housing for those people. And then my wife and I are also helping a family that was displaced. I think they were buying their mobile home and it burnt down. They lost everything. So I have a lot of extra of a lot of things to be able to, especially outfit the young man who lost all his tools. So we'll be able to outfit him and get him up and running again. And then as far as our money goes with our revenue from our YouTube shows and our merchandise that we sell, I've dedicated 100% of that revenue for the rest of the year to set aside for that family to help them get a down payment on a new manufactured home that they can get rehomed in, hopefully by Christmas. Hopefully it works out. And you guys can help simply by watching the videos. That's how I get revenue, was simply by the advertisers. You guys have to put up with the advertisements so I can get the revenue. And if you feel a hankering, just drop down below if you have a PC and check out the merchandise. I have coffee mugs, shirts, hoodies. Getting cold. Sweatshirts and hoodies are down there. Yeah, Pine Meadows Hobby Farm logos and also Duck and a Cup logo on them. Yeah, got those. Anyway, that will help out this family. I'm paying all the taxes on this, and so they can get 100% of the revenue tax-free, because I'm pulling the money out of my own pocket to pay the taxes. It's just a sacrifice my wife and I have been willing to make this year, because these people lost so much and we have been so blessed. So we've got, it's just a way we can pass it on. And then there's those videos I've been producing on keeping you guys updated on the wildfires. My son is a wildland firefighter and he's out on the front lines fighting the various wildfires around California, and now back in Oregon. He finally took a break. He's on vacation right now. He went with a bunch of his buddies to visit another buddy. I think they flew down to New Mexico is where they're at. Anyway, they're having fun. They're having their guy time. Well-deserved break. He needs it. We've had a lot of rain, so it's diminished the wildfire probability significantly. I noticed the needle on the fire gauge moved down another notch. It is now medium. It's in the green. It's not in the low, but it's the next step up above low. And it's not extreme or high. It's down in the medium. So that was a relief to be able to see that needle that way today. Oh, such a relief. Yeah, this was an epic fire season. We had so many firefighters, or wildfires around us. I got some good footage from the front lines. Got some great people who were videotaping and supplying videos to me to be able to get you guys some up close and personal footage of what it's like to be on the front lines and have to go through the tragedies, what's going on. Yeah, it's just been epic. So speaking of those tragedies, I networked with a foundation. It's www.asantefoundation.org, and I was communicated to by one of the individuals in the foundation that when I launched the video on Friday, my first video on Friday, they went into the weekend. Monday, they contacted me and they thanked me for putting the word out to my global audience because they had generated the most money they had ever generated in their history in 2 days. I think I was able to help them generate an income of $30,000 to help with the wildfire uh, families who suffered from the wildfire. And then a week later, I heard back from them, and the number came up to $75,000. Wow, that was pretty generous of my viewers to give, reach out and give. I can't tell you guys how much I appreciate you. And then there's one of my viewers from Florida who contacted Jeff at the foundation and had a conversation with him. He was tickled. He was just like beside himself. He got a hold of me and he said, I just had an interesting conversation with one of your viewers in Florida. You know, they donated and then they shared also the information with their circle of contacts. So we were able to get upwards of $100,000 for the wildfire fund in helping these families get back on their feet. So kudos to my viewers. It's all about you guys. I give all my accolades to you for helping with this epic venture. You know, it just really warms my heart that you guys are that giving. Yeah, it was very stressful for a lot of people here. Very stressful. So let's talk about my livestock. Yeah. Start with the nanny goats. Yeah, they came in heat. Was able to breed both of them. Stuart, the brown one, got bred with Marble, the brown one. And Dexter, wait, no, Dexter's the brown one, got bred with Marble, the brown one. Stuart, the black one, got bred with Agate, the black doe. So they both came in heat 5 days apart from each other. So 5 months for babies. So we're looking for babies around the 12th of March. That's going to be an interesting time here on the farm. It's spring. I am building an egg incubator. I got a bunch of stuff I ordered from online to turn an old freezer into an incubator. Stay tuned for that show. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. Yeah, I got all the components for it. And then I also got some supplies to build automatic waterers for the turkeys, the chickens, and the rabbits, so I won't have to worry about watering them all the time. They'll have their own automatic waterers, so we're going to fabricate that. Gosh, when I have time. But I got so busy and got so behind on my homesteading stuff because of the sale of the ranch down the road. I ended up having to do this estate cleanup, moving everything down here, and sorting through everything, evicting people, getting things cleaned up, repaired. I still got a little bit more to do down there, and then we're going to call it good. And then I'm retiring from estate cleanups altogether, and I'm also retiring from property management. Not going to do that no more. Also, I was able to finish up the goat pen this year, too. That was a project I didn't anticipate on doing. I went ahead and just dove into it, got billy goats, built the billy goat barn, and named it Capricorn Corrals. Yeah. So we're all good as far as livestock goes. We added turkeys back to the homestead. I've got 6 Jennies and 1 Tom. Oh, he's a very happy Tom. So I'll be harvesting a couple of Jennies here coming up pretty soon for the Thanksgiving table. We're going to have 2 additional people at our table this year. One elderly gentleman who's retired. He's a veteran, and we're going to Well, we have him every year because he's by himself, and we just have him at our table every year for Christmas and the holidays. And then my daughter has an interest. My wife and I really like him. Um, and we're going to be setting an extra plate at the dinner table for Thanksgiving for him also, and hanging another stocking on the mantle of the fireplace for Christmas. So yeah, I'm really excited for my daughter. Yeah, I'm really excited for her. She needs this. Yeah, you can see the father's heart here. It's cool. It's all good. It's all cool. I got through the process of cleaning up that estate. Got, of course, I've been sharing with you guys. I got gifted with this most awesome gift. I got a tractor. Yeah, I got a tractor. Nice tractor. I did not expect this. Did not expect this at all. I just so humbled and grateful by this whole gesture. Uh, Now I had to build this tractor barn for it. We're coming to the completion of the tractor barn. Just got half the roof left to put on and trim around the door and build the doors. And then we'll call it good. Done. I have some other things I want to put in there. I've got it creates also extra storage space, so I'll be able to clean up the homestead a little bit more and reorganize. I've so needed space to put things away, and so this was one of those things I didn't expect to do. I just kind of like, pieced it together as you went. Because of the estate cleanup over there, I ended up having to bring that frame back here to the homestead that was a carport frame. Yeah, the fabric kind of rotted off it. We're taking that to the dump. And I figured, you know what, I could just like screw metal to this, to that and make it a nice, solid, durable enclosure and make a tractor barn for it. And in that way, it'll handle the snow load and strengthen it and protect everything. So this is a win-win. It works out great. So I'm able to recycle, repurpose this carport, and I'm able to make it last a long time. How much did it cost? Stay tuned. The final episode, I will reveal the final cost of how much everything. I keeping all the receipts, so I'll break down the costs. So there's a lot of those frames around. So if you guys get ambitious, grab one of those frames and then watch that series, and you can see and put together your own. And you can also modify it. You don't have to do the solid metal sidings. You can do the clear corrugated vinyl sidings or whatever material that is and turn it into a greenhouse. It's a great frame. You don't have to throw it into the dump if it's not bent up. The canvas may rot off of it, but the frame is still excellent. And then once you put the corrugated material on there, whether it be the plastic material or the fiberglass, whatever they make it out of, or the metal, it strengthens it so much more, and it's able to handle the snow loads. We don't get much of a snow load here. Probably the deepest I've ever seen it was 4 foot, and that was when we first moved up here 30 years ago. Yeah, I haven't seen 4 foot of snow since. Maybe 2 feet, 2.5 feet. The year we filmed the show. In fact, at the same time, the night before we filmed the show, we had the most snow that we'd ever seen in a long, long time, and that was like 2.5 feet. So now if you drive 40 miles to the north of us, yeah, you're getting up to Crater Lake National Park. You're getting in an area where you're going to get 12 feet of snow, 25 feet of snow. Yeah, it gets serious up there. Managed to get the propane tanks in. I have it green tagged. Yay. I can call and have it filled with propane now. I'm just got to call the inspector for my final inspection. He says all he needs to do is come in and check the valves. So we'll get it filled. Call him back next week because I'm on vacation. On Thursday is the first day of my vacation, so we're going to go ahead and give him a call. Also, I am landscaping the front yard finally, and got some gravel in. Got to gravel the driveway. Got gravel for my paths. I just have to spread them around my paths now to get me out of the mud this winter. Yay, victory. And a load of gravel. I'm spreading gravel across the front of the house in preparation for building the new deck next year. There's some projects next year we're going to do. One's a major project. Well, technically there's 3 big projects I'd like to get done next year. Maybe one I don't have to. The deck, I need to get that done. And I'm also building an outdoor kitchen with a butcher shop and a smokehouse and a outdoor oven. I'm building one of those. And then a root cellar, we're doing that. The front deck, I mentioned that. But I also would like to at least get the substructure in. I got all the material for the substructure for the tree house on the mountain. Yeah, I'm building a cottage on a platform, steel pipes cemented in the ground with good anchors and steel I-beams on which the platform rests on. So it's not going to be supported by trees because eventually trees will rot, die, fall down. And this is going to be made in a way that it won't fall apart with the trees, and it'll last forever. And it'll be coated, completely sheeted in metal. In case a wildfire goes through, it won't burn the structure down. So I'm so conscious about wildfires in this area. So I try to mitigate any damage to any structures as I build them because I'm planning what if a wildfire sweeps through and I have to get out of Dodge, will my structures be here? So that's how I plan when I build everything, and then keeping the land clear. And the goats are very beneficial for keeping especially the land clear, the vegetation down. So the wildfires don't get up in the trees. They just burn along the grasses and burn quick and low. They stake to the ground level. Yeah, my biggest fear is wildfires. Anyway, in December I will do a video and we'll revisit the video I did in January on item by item on everything I set out to do this year. It's basically how much did I succeed in my New Year's resolutions. And like I said, the one unannounced New Year's resolution was for me to get healthier. Trade in my keg for a 6-pack. Well, I didn't quite get the 6-pack, but I got rid of the keg. Yay! And that's all I have to say on this subject. Gardening. Been gardening throughout the year, exploring things I can grow in my growing zone. We live in growing zone 8, of course. When you're in Oregon, you have big tall mountains, deep valleys, so you have microclimates. So you can't really plan your gardens based upon a general overview of the area, because this could be growing zone 9 here, or 8.9, where a mile down the road, or 2 miles down the road, which is the valley floor, could be a growing zone 7 or 7.8. So it's not necessarily standard everywhere here in Oregon because of the variety of terrain that we have. You have to accommodate for that, and it helps. Like if you adapt to the way that the pioneers did, they would go on, they would live on a place for a year or two, and they would observe the seasons, where the water flowed, the rains, the runoff, and they always knew to build their houses high and dry, and figured out where to put their gardens, their kitchen gardens, build their barns, just by watching and observing nature through the course of a year, because you don't know where, the flooding, how high does that water come? And sometimes it's just observing the landscape. You could see where water has run through and caused erosion, so you know not to build in this areas where there's erosion, because then you run the risk of your house getting damaged and flooded by floods. Who builds in flood zones? A lot of people do. Yeah, Who builds in wildfire zones? I do. But I adapt. We all adapt. Even if you build in flood zones, you adapt. You just put your house on pillars and put it above the flood water, the historic flood levels. That's one way to adapt to the real estate. Anyway, that's all I have to say about this. I'm your host, Jerry Hansen. This is Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. We're a frugal homestead tucked high in the Cascade Ranges of the Pacific Northwest and southwestern Oregon. Please subscribe, then click that bell icon that lets you to new videos as I upload them. Another thing you can do is please click that share button and share my videos on your social media platforms. Really helps out the channel a lot. Another thing you could do is give us a thumbs up, like the show, and always remember, please be safe and always be kind. Hey, we'll see you guys in the next episode. All right? Bye-bye.